The next nominee for the ranching division is Frank P. Keogh. Frank Keogh was born in 1887 in Benson, Minnesota, and the family moved west in 1882 when Patrick was transferred with the Northern Pacific Railroad to the present-day Hebron. Family later started ranching operations in Little Knife River. In 1901, Frank and his brother Jack struck out on their own, ending their search in McKenzie County near Keene, where they started their own ranch. In 1905, when James Phelan took over Webb Arnett's leasing operation on 225,000 acres of Fort Berthold rangeland, Keogh was sought as an experienced cattleman to head that operation. He became the ranch foreman, running up to 10,000 head of cattle and 1,000 head of horses. When Phelan's lease ran out in 1910, Keogh bought out his brother's interest and started the ranch at the southern foot of Table Butte for the rest of his career. His ranch included 20,000 acres of reservation land where he ran about 800 head of cattle and 100 head of horses. In 1912, he married Elizabeth Carney, who was a teacher and postmistress for White Earth. They had two children, Brooks, who stayed on the ranch until his death, and Betty, who married Ed Grantier of Minot. Keogh is a founder and president of the McKenzie County Grazing Association and founder and president of the North Dakota Stockmen's Association. He was a member of the executive committee of the American National Livestock Association. Mr. Keogh also placed a high value on education and helped establish the first school in the area, known as Keogh School. He was a contributor to the Home on the Range at Sentinel Butte and worked with the Department of Interior to write soil conservation legislation. I might add that some of that legislation is some we're fighting very hard to protect today with national grasslands issues. Though modest, his impact in western North Dakota was truly significant. He witnessed the changes in ranching from wide open range to the modern, closely run and managed commercial operations of today. To accept the award for the family is Frank Keogh of Williston.
You might be thinking he looks a little young to be in the Cowboy Hall of Fame. Actually, I'm named after my grandfather and very proud of that. My father was Brooks Keogh. My aunt is Betty Grantier, and she's here today, along with other representatives of our family. It's unique for us to be here with the Grantiers and the Goodalls because we're all related. The Keoghs and the Goodalls are cousins. My grandfather was a unique individual. I think about him coming to eastern McKenzie County back in those years. He was a very proud man, very proud of his Irish heritage. He was a Catholic, and he was also a Republican, so he was a rare commodity in the county back in those years. But the biography that was read described the work that he did in those early years and the hard work that it was indeed on the Fort Berthold Reservation. I know we all admire the hard work of those men and women of those pioneer years. I know they endured unbearable hardship, probably hardships that many of us would find very troublesome today. The ranching, the early ranching years on the reservation were done by people like Frank Keogh, but he was greatly assisted by many Indian cowboys that he thought a great deal of, and I know many of their descendants are represented in this audience today. They forged a wonderful relationship and an affection for each other. And I thought I might read a excerpt from a letter that my family received when Frank died in 1955. This letter is from Francis Charging, and Francis was one of the Indian cowboys that rode with Frank back on the reservation. He says in his letter, "They talk about no rain, and I said, I tell you fellows what old Indians say if a man died. And if he is a good man or a woman, we'll make it rain. So I say that my friend Keogh is a good and well-to-do man and been riding horseback in the Badlands where the coyotes are howling, so he will make it rain. So that come true. It rains 1 week after the funeral. So these men will believe what I have said." And that letter meant an awful lot to our family. We've held on to it for years, and I think it really symbolically represents that relationship. I thank you all responsible for this honor, and certainly congratulations to the other inductees. Thank you very much.